What if finding the right guy and keeping him wasn't about doing more or doing spooning Roonies, but about doing less? So you've been overperforming and just trying too hard. What does it mean to drop the overperformance and not try and just to let him? Let's start with the video. Next one is to let him walk away. That's actually really important. Listen, man, if a guy is always threatening to walk away, let him walk away. Listen, we want peace in our lives. The whole point of all of this is not to get stimulation, you know? The whole point of all of this is to find somebody who you could be at peace with. If he's not giving you peace, let him walk away. If he's threatening to leave you, let him walk away. We're not here to beg and then you're gonna tell people you watch my channel. You can't do that. That's unacceptable. I'm gonna have to close it. You gotta let them see that you have a take it or leave it attitude. And what's that? You have high intention and low attachment. I want you to stay, but if you're not right for me, if you're not giving me the peace that I deserve, I'm not gonna stay with you. I'm gonna let you walk and I'm not gonna fight for you. You know, I'm not gonna come after you. I'm not gonna beg. Don't you beg and tell people you watch my channel. And the reason why is because, look, man, some people are instinctively really good at manipulating, right? Or sometimes some people want to walk away, but they don't have the guts to tell you. You know? Sometimes being loving towards someone is pushing them away because you realize they're not happy with you, but they don't want to tell you. Like, if there's one thing that I'm learning this year at least, is to value peace over stimulation. The only reason why you stay with a guy who doesn't care if you leave or not, or a guy who's willing to walk away for anything, it's because you don't know what peace feels like. You think stimulation is peace. You think you want peace, stimulation, when in reality, you just want peace. How do you know that? Well, guess what? A person who's always stimulated, eventually, those people die quicker. And stimulation means always something new this, new that. It takes you to dark places. It creates toxic relationships. But people who value peace, their decision making is completely different. It's very different, fundamentally different actually, you know? Fundamentally different. And usually when you can't walk away, it's because you already made up your mind. Stop looking for a certain kind of person. Look, and I want this to be your standard, look for men who give you peace. That should be your standard. Look for a guy that gives you peace of mind. I'm telling you, man, because if you're looking for stimulation, it's hard to walk away from those motherfuckers. Because boy, do they know how to stimulate you. And sometimes you gotta overstimulate yourself to the point where your life is a complete mess, because following stimulation creates a lot of problems in life. Trust me when I say this to you. You know, stimulation will only leave you alone. Finding peace, you'll naturally gravitate towards healthy relationship, and you'll naturally gravitate towards being around people. Stimulation always brings isolation, I'm telling you, man. It just always does. It just always does. You know? So let that motherfucker walk away. He could do better than that. You got my channel. Let him win. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we date people and they're not right for us, but they triggered us. They treated us less than, or worse, we knew they weren't shit. We knew that they didn't like us, but we took the risk because we felt bad about ourselves. We felt that if I could win this person over, maybe that could numb the pain of the emptiness that I feel inside. Maybe that could numb the anxiety. And so what happens is that when you don't accept defeat sometimes people win over us, right? Sometimes, let's put it right here. Sometimes people get the best of us, right? And if we resist a loss, that's really problematic. When you don't know when to retreat, when you don't know when to back off, let me be honest, that's very masculine, right? That's very masculine energy. Masculine energy is very stubborn, doesn't like to tap out, and feminine energy understands its limitations, understands when you can't win a situation. The problem is that when you try to win a situation that it's unwinnable, what do I mean by that? Well, when you try to make a guy care who doesn't care about you, you're not gonna win. What's gonna happen is that even if you win, you're gonna feel resentful that you had to do all of that. you know? And most likely you won't win. Most likely he will put up resistance, and then he'll act like he's changing, and then you're gonna feel good, you're gonna lower your guard, and then he's gonna go back to his old behavior, and then you're gonna feel dumb for going back. You're gonna feel dumb for getting played again. Let me tell you something, there's nothing worse than being played twice by the same person, right? There's nothing worse than that. Let him win, let him walk away. People who maliciously hurt you, you will win in the long term, right? People who play you, people who cancel a date last minute or leave you hanging, they lose eventually. Let them have that little victory. Let them laugh. Let them laugh with their friends. Let them say how needy you were. Accept it and move on. People like that, I'm telling you, because I've coached people and I've seen a lot of situations, what happens is that they grow old, and the qualities that cause people to tolerate their bullshit will go away, and then they're just gonna be left with the consequences of their character, meaning they may end up alone. You know, they may create so much resentment, or their ego has inflated to such degree that they're incapable of having a healthy relationship. Let them win. Let them win the dirty fights. You know, let them win those games. Let them feel like they've won. Who gives a fuck? Let me tell you something, man. You're playing the long game. People like that never end up happy, because what happens is that when you try to win the situation, you end up losing. You end up changing, because they don't change. They end up playing you, you know? I swear to God, the dumbest I've ever felt in my life is letting this happen. Is knowing this person is gonna play me, and because I'm so needy sometimes and I'm so creepy, I let it happen. You know, and in my case, I've had to get played multiple times to learn my lesson. Don't be dumb like that. You know, develop premature wisdom. Learn from other people's mistakes. Winning a battle against a toxic person is a Pyrrhic victory. It's never worth winning, to be honest with you. Those people will change you. Toxic people are very influential, so get the fuck away from those people. Lovingly, I say that. Let him suffer the consequences of his actions. Too many, little dog, take. A lot of women sometimes, because of the anxiety of not being around them, because of the anxiety of not getting his validation, or honestly, the addiction to validation, a lot of times you don't let them suffer their actions. You don't let them suffer the consequences of their actions, right? Maybe he pulled away, maybe he's being inconsistent. And rather than talking to him, oh shit, the cops are coming for Father Alex. Rather than talking to him, rather than matching his energy, but I prefer you talk, but if he's not open to it, then you gotta match the energy. Rather than doing that, you do the complete opposite, and you reward that behavior. You make him say, holy shit, what Father Alex teaches on his men's channel works, right? You react. The way you make a guy suffer the consequences of his actions is for you to have standards that you follow no matter how you feel about the guy. If a guy is not being consistent with me, no matter how much validation it gives me, no matter how much I like him, no matter how attractive he is, no matter how much he has promised me, I gotta be willing to walk away from, or when I say we'll be willing to walk away, I mean, first you try to work it out, people, okay? Like I noticed it took just too many coaches, including myself, that has taught people to treat people as discardable things, okay? And this is why I always talk about having a fine line between detachment and attachment. Like, yeah, you detach, but don't be so willing to detach. Sometimes people apply detachment because they're afraid of getting close to someone, you know? Like they're afraid of intimacy, so that's not what I'm talking about. I mean that, look, I love you, man, but if you're not gonna meet me halfway, if you're not gonna work things out, I'm willing to walk away from your goofy ass, right? Anytime you see a cocky guy who's arrogant, who's a complete asshole, you know what happened? He never suffered the consequences of his actions. It's like when people say, that guy hasn't been punched in the face yet. You know, he has to suffer. He has to see that if he's not consistent, if he's not paying attention, if he doesn't treat you the way you guys talked about, if he doesn't keep his words, that there is consequences for that. The problem is that there's just too many Mother Teresa lovers out there, too many women who are unconditional lovers, and that's great. But in reality, it's not because of a secure attachment. It's really because of fear. right? You are addicted to the validation, and that's why you keep going back. That's why you keep forgiving. You are rationalizing desperate behavior, right? It's a very normal thing. It's a very normal thing, but you got to be aware of it so that doesn't continue happening. The more women put men in their place, the more women checks men, the easier it'll be for everyone. That guy who's an asshole, most likely the last girl, didn't check him. So now you gotta deal with that shit. You know? Let him suffer. Guys will fall in love with you more if they really fucked up, if they really made a mistake, if they're really good people, right? If they're ethically avoidant, like that guy Adam says, rather than being a malignant avoidant, or if they really are, well, guess what? The pain of your absence is gonna make him come to his senses, right? Like pain is what makes people wake up from pain is what makes them realize their mistake. If you don't give them that pain because it causes you pain, it causes you anxiety, then you're just being selfish. You're not allowing people to grow from their mistake. Let them grow. Let him grow through put through the consequences of his actions. If he says he's gonna do something, if he says he's gonna be more in time, if he says he's gonna spend more time with you and he doesn't do that, well, we gotta find some consequences. It's not that you are manipulated, but that sometimes it just means that you lower your energy. Sometimes it just means that you feel like shit and you act as though you feel like shit rather than feeling like shit and faking it because you want him to see how happy you are. If a man is truly gonna fall in love with you, he first has to suffer. He first has to see standards and see that there's another side to you. That I do love you, but baby, it's not conditional. I need the same energy from you. And that's settling. It's accepting what makes you unhappy. You know? And I'm not talking about dopamine. I'm talking about accepting shitty connections with a guy. Accepting ambiguous types of almost like a very murky understanding of how he feels about you. You can't accept that. If he's murky, if he's inconsistent, if he's not obvious about how he feels about you, if he's not clear about that he wants something long term, don't suffer through that. Show him that if you're not clear with a good woman, you're not gonna find a good woman. The only women that are gonna tolerate that are women that are highly anxious and that attract narcissistic men. Don't get me wrong, he will regret it. He will regret it. Guys regret losing good women. That's just a fact. Next one is to let him judge you. Let him think whatever he wants about you. Listen, the strategies that, because lately, like I said, I've been observing that there is a toxic element to the things that I teach, okay? And I'm not proud of that. And what I learned, what my mistake was catering to, I want to be mysterious, I want to be interesting, I want to captivate his attention. That's not the right mentality, because what that does is that it's all a performance. And that performance gets in the way between you connecting with the guy completely, not just with your good qualities, but connecting with him with your imperfections. Meaning, maybe you're depressed, maybe you have anxieties, and it makes you look uncool, right? Allowing him to see your weaknesses, because he has to see them, and he has to make a decision. Am I gonna accept her for her weaknesses, for her needy, creepy ways, for the fact that maybe she's a little too anxious, or the fact that maybe she's a little too distant from now and then? Am I gonna accept that? Let him see that and let him make his choice, because if you don't show him your weaknesses and you don't allow him to observe it and make a judgment to decide whether or not I should stay, it becomes problematic. And that usually happens because you're trying to control how he sees you. You want him to like you badly. You want him to accept you badly. It's okay, okay? The right guy will accept you with your flaws. So let him see your flaws and let him judge you on that. Let him come to whatever conclusion. What you want is a type of guy that sees your flaws and comes to a positive judgment. Says, you know what? I like her for that. I want to be with her. Yeah, you know what? She's a little weird sometimes, but I accept her. Don't hide those qualities about you, because eventually they're going to have to come out. And if you're afraid that people are gonna judge you because maybe you have weird habits, or maybe you or maybe you have nerdy qualities and you were bullied for it, let him see that, right? Let him see that. And if he doesn't like you, if he finds you boring, let him walk away. Listen, people, What we're doing is just presenting ourselves to someone, and hopefully they like it. Your self-esteem comes when you say, if they like it, good. And if they don't like it, well, that sucks, but you know what? I'll find somebody, that's fine. That's true self-esteem. It's you take it or you leave it, but I'm fine with it, even though it hurts sometimes, right? That's being very realistic. That's not hiding behind your ego. Oh, if he doesn't like me, well, that's his loss. Oh, okay, damn. If he doesn't like me, man, that sucks. I really wanted to meet him, but that's also his loss. Having realism and that type of radical acceptance of other people and how other people judge you may not seem like it helps in the moment because, you know, maybe you are losing the guy, right? Like you're being yourself, you're not faking it, right? You seeing that girl who's acting feminine, but you know she's faking it and she's getting the guy, right? Those situations don't last long, right? Whenever you present your weaknesses, when you don't hide it. Now, that don't mean that you tell the guy you do crack the first date, right? No, they don't do crack, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't bring your flaws all out into the open, but that you know, maybe you talk to people, maybe you twiddle your tongue like that, yeah? You go like that. Maybe it shows nervousness. Maybe you tap your feet, right? He sees it. He's like, oh, she's nervous. That's not a negative. Now you know I have anxieties. What is he gonna do about it? Is he gonna try to relax you or is he gonna judge you for that? Let him do that. If he judges you for that, good. He's not compatible to deal with your weaknesses. That's good. Listen to me. Guys that are the right guy will be perfectly compatible with your weaknesses. He'll have the right amount of patience for you. He'll have the right amount of compassion for you. It'll be perfect. That's not perfect, but you know what I mean. The problem is that too many motherfuckers are encountering men who want perfection from their women. That's the main problem. Too many guys are encountering men who want you to be this perfect angel. And that's not realistic. But that's what they see on TV. That's what they see in porn. And they start to expect that. You don't want that. You don't want that guy. When you do this on the guy, when you show a guy that maybe you may have a little bit of a stomach and he's into this porn perfection, he might get turned off. But let him get turned off. Let him see your weaknesses. Get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, the right guy will love your soul. I'm telling you, man. I say this because I like to think I have a toxic taste. I'm very unrealistic. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm very unrealistic. That's the type of shit that I would do. Okay? And that's not healthy and it's not normal. All right? So the right guys, I've met guys that I will see a girl and I wouldn't like her. But because that guy has a healthy mindset, he finds a reason to like her and accept her. And my goofy ass says, oh, you know, oh, not this, not that. Listen, people, that's the talk of a guy who there's something wrong with that, all right? So let him do that. Don't assume that because he said no, he has this crazy value. Oh my God, he's so cool. No, he just rejected you. Your ego's hurt, and you're gonna and it's gonna feel painful, and then you're gonna recover and come back to normal. Okay? This honestly is really a test of your self-esteem. You know, every fiber of your being is gonna want to get their validation.
If he thinks you're boring because you want to go slow, let him think you're boring. If he thinks that you're not interesting enough because you're not dramatic, let him think that. If he thinks that you're too rough on him and that why are you trying to speed things up? Why are you trying to get defined standards for this relationship? Why are you trying to put a label? Let him think you are needy and boring. Okay? You're not going to let him gaslight you into doing something that goes against your benefits. All right, Sarah? You're going to do things like this. I don't care if you think I'm too rough. I don't care if you think I'm too slow. All right, Maria? You're going to let him know that I am this way and I expect to be treated a certain way, Daniela.
Don't try to change how they view you. Don't try to change that. Oh my God, I broke up with him and he thinks I'm needy. It's okay. Let him judge you. Let him see you as needy. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And this radical acceptance, man. It's truly a powerful changer. It's sorry, people. It's life changing because it shows you how to live and how to be yourself while letting others be themselves, right? Not trying to control them, not trying to control how they think of you. Next one.
Let him show you his character. The problem that most people have when reading people and trying to understand people is that we project. We see a pretty face, we see good clothes, and they say nice things to us, and we start thinking that that's their character. A man's character is the patterns that he repeats. You can never truly know a man's character in 1 week, in 1 month. Maybe you do actually, because people act, and after they stop acting, after they stop performing, their character comes out. The problem is that sometimes people show you their character, but you're not willing to listen because you make up your own mind about this guy before you barely even know him. You start to attribute positive traits to this guy before you even know him. And that's the fundamental problem, is that character is all about your patterns. What do you do when you feel stressed? What do you do when things become difficult? What do you do when you can't control things? Right? How does he react when somebody takes away his capacity to control situations? What does he do when you want a certain type of relationship and he wants a different type, right? Does he try to manipulate you, or does he try to come to a middle ground? The problem is that some women might see narcissistic traits or even avoidant traits as attractive, right? And that's most people. When people are distant, avoidant, when people are difficult to understand, those types of people, for some reason, trigger human beings because we interpret it as mystery. In reality, when a guy's not consistent, when a guy is how can I say this? When you have to walk on eggshells, it's not because it's mysterious. There's something about him that's making you feel lack of trust, and usually it's a lack of transparency. The problem is that we find that attractive. We don't say that's part of his character. You know, he's just not a man that's open up. We see that as a challenge, right? Understand that when people are meant for you, most of the time they open up in the beginning. It's not hard to get them to open up. When people like you, they are consistent. They're not being mysterious. They are consistent from the start. A man who's a man of good, who has good character, will not all of a sudden disappear. Will not all of a sudden start getting manipulated, right? Things are easy. But when he pulls away, you don't see that as, okay, he's maybe, when he pulls away or he does those games, you don't see that as, that's not a good sign. You see that as a challenge. Let him show you his character. If he fought once, he'll fight again. If he hit you once, he'll hit you again. If he lied to you once, he'll lie to you again. That don't mean that means that you gotta improve your worth so that he doesn't hit you. That don't mean that you gotta improve your worth so that he's consistent. It just means that you have a toxic, you have a toxic taste for men. It's crazy because the men that women call me about the most, it's not the good guy up the block who's going to church and singing choir. It's about fucking Luis the Puerto Rican from the Bronx. It's about Bob the player. It's about Muhammad the player, right? Not Muhammad the married man, because people like challenges, But when you get caught up in a challenge, in the validation from trying to win over a guy that's challenging, you completely stop reading the guy. That's a problem. You stop paying attention. So look at his life. Look at the patterns that he has repeated. Maybe he quit when it was most important that he didn't quit. Maybe he's the type of person that scams people. Even though observe those qualities. Pay attention. Look for those red flags. Start connecting the dots. Because let me tell you something. Toxic people, they're not hard to find. The problem is that when you're infatuated or have low self-esteem, or you feel bad about yourself, which is the same thing, you start to lie to yourself. Like I said yesterday,
And like I said, it's like you see a dark corner, and rather than saying that's dangerous, you say, "Oh, that's mystery. Let's find out." Don't go Scooby Doo mode.
To me is the most important one. Let him show you he wants you. Let him show you he wants something serious. Ladies, let me tell you something. Sometimes when we like someone, when we want someone to like us, when we're looking for the perfect man, right, and we see someone that kind of resembles what we had in our minds, we come to conclusions, and we start to see what we want to see, and that causes us to misread the situation. Where a guy who may be like 50-50 with you, where he likes you, but not that much, but he'll still entertain you. You sort of start to chase the guys that are uncertain about you. And you start to look for signs that he likes you. You start to see whether or not he looked at you weird at one time, and maybe that means he wants something long term. That's not how it works. When a guy likes you, it's obvious. Even Stevie Wonder can see it. Even my blind granny can see that he likes you. Only go for the men that show you they like you from the beginning. But how do you do that? You do nothing. You just let him show you. How do you do that? Well, you just do nothing. Listen to me, man. Guys that like you, they start acting creepy, okay? They get on your radar. How do I know that? Well, when a guy doesn't like you, when a guy that you don't find attractive pays attention to you, you feel a weird energy. You're like, does he like me? You can see it in the face and the expression. And sometimes he may even give you a gift. Sometimes he may ask you out. And he's very consistent about it, right? These types of situations, when somebody like us, there's no doubt in our minds, right? So the barometer that I want you guys to use to figure out if a guy truly likes you is this. Is it obvious? Do you feel confused? Do you have to think if he likes you? Do you have to watch my channel to find out if he likes you? Any of those factors is a red flag. It's obvious. There's no doubt in your mind. There's no, oh, I don't know. No. Oh my God, maybe he hasn't texted me in a week. There's none of that shit. There's creepy consistentness from the guy. But you fuck it up whenever you don't see the signs and you start putting your sleeves up and now you start making him like you. No, you don't do that. You can't do that and tell people you watch my channel. The way that it works is that you just lean back and see if you just lean back and let him show you. You know, and I feel like I have to reiterate this. It's not magic. If he likes you, you're gonna be able to see it. That's how that works. It's you're gonna know. Okay, only go for the certain ones. Well, but why is that important, dude? It's exhausting going out with someone that you don't know if you like them. The problem is that it triggers our low self-esteem and it creates aggressive action on our part. We start to chase their validation. That's the problem, and it becomes a habit. I remember one time, there was this girl in school that I liked, right? And I was actually in that situation where I didn't know if she liked me or not. And then I started doing things. I remember I tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't. She would talk, but it wasn't like talking to me any different than she talked to somebody else, right? But a part of me was like, man, I hope she likes me. And that hope caused me to see her smiling at me as potentially that she likes me. You see how that fucks with you? So one day I gave her a flower. I left it under her bike, and she was like, "Yo, who gave me this flower?" And I was like, "Uh-oh." She was like, "Was it Mike? Was it Mike the tall not the tall guy? Was it Mike the guy with the long hair?" And I'm like, "Bitch, it was me." All right? She didn't even think it was me. So what does that say, dude? First of all, I kind of knew it, but I wanted it not to be true. The problem is that when you start doing things and you don't know if they like you or not, that shit could fuck with you. It could trigger needy behavior that you may not notice that the next person you meet, you might start acting even more desperate because you're still feeling the rebounds of the failure of going after somebody who didn't like you or going after somebody who didn't make it clear. That shit is painful, man. That fucking hurts. And that does affect you. So only go for the obvious ones. I'm telling you. Next point. Now, the next one is to let him see your shadow. Now, what do I mean by let him see your shadow? Essentially is your shadow side is the parts in you that you try to suppress, the compulsive side of you, the aggressive side of you, the anger side of you, and your shadow side comes out one during moments of stress, okay, moments of people putting pressure on you, moments of rejection could bring out your shadow side. And the reason why is this, it's important, and your shadow side is also your contradictions, right? Your imperfections. And the reason why you want to show him that is because people might think that if you show somebody your shadow, they're gonna get turned off. It's actually no. You're gonna look more human. So the problem is that a lot of nice girls, nice people who are people pleasers because their parents they weren't enough for their parents, and because of that creates an addiction to validation. You hide your shadow, and what happens is that you lose that intimidating quality. If you don't show your shadows, you're gonna look weak, and a guy's gonna and you're only gonna attract men who want a fantasy of a perfect woman. These types of guys lose interest really fast. Let them see your shadow. Let them see the fact that you may have imperfections. Let them see the fact that you sometimes may snap. Let them see your shadow when he fucks up and you get angry. Let them show him that. Let them hear you say, yo, fucking, I hate kids sometimes. Or let them see your contradictions, right? Let them see maybe you have depression, right? Let them see that you have anxiety and that it's tough for you to control it. What happens is that one, your shadow brings respect because your shadow side can be the aggressive side. Don't fuck with me, motherfucker, all right? Don't fuck with me, all right? That's your shadow side. But also your shadow side could be, I'm depressed, I don't feel like shit. I sometimes think that that I'm not worthy of love. So it's pretty much showing him that you have those sides of your personality that you don't feel sure about, which is sometimes the complete opposite of what we project to people, right? We try to project perfection, right? Ay, perdón. Me discúlpame. Estaba grabando ahí. ¿No lo viste? Disculpa. No te preocupes, está bien. Gracias. Pero lo agarraste muy bien, sí, sí. No te preocupes. Está bien. So that shadow is what makes you look more human. It makes you look more like you're not faking it, because you know we all have experienced that when we meet people and we sort of feel they're not being themselves. They try to show that nothing bothers them. They're people pleasers, right? You can't be doing that, because eventually, if we perform long enough, we're gonna grow resentful towards them. Especially, you should show them systematically, at least, the sides of you. This is why I'm encouraging you, because you're not going to lose them. You know, they're actually going to like you. They're going to respect you more. They may get scared. I remember one time when I was dating, what was it? No, I'm not going to say that story, right? Because I can't say that one. But I remember when I would tell girls that I'm avoidant, right? I would tell them that, actually. And I never told them that because, you know, I felt like maybe it was a bad quality. But you know what's funny? That girl would say, yo, you are, so what about you go to therapy? You know? Or she would even take me to, she even took me to one of the therapists, actually. Because I wanted to go, I wanted to see it, right? But I remember her being invested in me trying to fixing my problems. And I thought she wasn't gonna like me. I thought she was gonna say, oh, you're an avoidant, fuck that. No, what people do is that when somebody likes you, they try to help you, you know? Your shadow side gives a man a reason to help, right? He sees that you're sad, he sees that you suffer from depression. Well, then part of the relationship will be to make you feel better about that, will be to alleviate your shadow, right? Maybe, and that's the beauty about it, is that working with each other, seeing each other's weaknesses, and him wanting to help, and your willingness creates vasopressin, right? You guys are working together. Maybe he's the type of person that is too stressed, right? Which I'm gonna talk about in the next point. And so you help him relax. Maybe he wants to stop smoking cigarettes, right? You know what's funny? People in relationships have a high propensity to quit drugs, to actually stop bad habits, actually. People who are single have a high propensity to increase their negative habits. And so you use that relationship as a way to overcome compulsive desire, compulsive behavior. But you can't get to that point where you guys are working together and trying to help each other and trying to fix each other's problems through collaboration if you don't show them your shadow. It's like guys who You know, and a lot of guys do this a lot, where they hide the fact that they may have a smoking problem, the fact that they may have anger problems, right? And that becomes, sometimes when they hide it, it's because they don't want to change it, right? I remember when I was dating, I would tell women, look, man, so I'm addicted to weed. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I would tell them that, and people, man, not one time, me showing weakness, talking about the things that hurt me, talking about my bad relationship that I had with some family members, not one time did they get turned off. Almost all the time they want to help. So I just noticed, man, letting people see your shadow, it's actually a good thing. Now, the next one is to let him see the masculine side of your personality. Too many women, oh Lord, and this is honestly, not even a disappointment, but too many women miss out on the power of showing a man your masculine. Example is a pimp and his hoes, right? All right, now listen to what I'm about to say, Mario. If a hoe wants to be a hoe and be a prostitute, fine. But if she doesn't have a pimp, some guys are not gonna pay her. When they see the pimp and when they see that she has backup, they then all of a sudden start to pay her. Men respect and treat the masculine within the woman with a lot of reverence. Because the problem, Kim, is that you have suppressed your masculine side because you think it's not attractive, or maybe your parents told you you gotta be more girl-like. So we're gonna watch a video from my previous course, the feminine woman, where I teach you guys how to embrace the feminine energy within you. I mean, the masculine energy within you and blend it. Because in that course, I talk a lot about that. That course is like a self-help course. It's like if you guys want to learn how to set and achieve your goals, how to blend the masculine and the feminine, how to be feminine in the workplace without losing respect. It's all about feminine energy while blending the masculine. So if you guys want to order that course, it's on the description down below. Now watch the sneak peek, Grace. All right, so this week's first section is going to be how to develop a masculine foundation. Okay, the reason why I first started out this course, the feminine woman with the masculine foundation, is because at the end of the day, the masculine is the foundation to almost any person. It has to be. Not because of some ideology or feminism, but because it's the backbone. It's the strength behind the softness. But unfortunately, I believe there's something called peace through strength. In other words, you learn to have a peaceful social life, a peaceful relationship life, a peaceful career life through having the inner strength. After you develop that strength, then you can show softness, right? Once you are strong, then you can show the weakness. But if you're weak, you gotta show the strength, right? Just like Sun Tzu says, that if you're weak, appear strong. If you're strong, appear weak. Because that's what I'm talking about. Too many women have the weakness, the feminine, out into the open, the vulnerable. And unfortunately, they get taken advantage of and they end up resenting men because they're getting played. But unfortunately, this is something that you have to control. And that's the beauty about it. So let's talk about what is the masculine, okay? The masculine plays, the ability to play different roles gives you power, right? So you as a woman, you're most likely over-identified with your masculine. Now, if you're with your feminine, now if you're overly identified with your masculine, right? If you're too masculine, then you should wait till the next week where we talk about the feminine part. But this is still kind of important if you're too over-identified with your masculine. Remove the parts that to the editor, remove the parts that I drink this stuff. Because when you as a woman have the feminine, being able to move into your masculine will just open doors. Because men are more fond to respect women who have masculinity than to respect women who have too much femininity. And if you watch my channel, you would know that by now. So this ability that I'm talking about will give you flexibility. And that's why too many women have limited careers. One, they may experience sexism, but also your reaction to sexism makes the problem even worse, right? Because you feel this negative force attacking you. And a lot of women never trained to develop their inner bodyguard, their inner masculine, their inner man.
And so they crumble under that pressure by over-identifying with the feminine and becoming more docile. And that does affect your career. It does affect your relationship life. So you got to learn how to integrate that. Why? Because if a woman is integrated, who has a good touch of her masculine, as much as getting in touch with her feminine, women will admire her strength, and men will feel attracted to her and will want to respect you more. Any woman, I mean, honestly, I think about this and it's very true. Any woman who has a masculine edge in social circles, you'll notice that a lot of the times they end up being the leaders of their social circle. Women with a little bit of, who have a stronger masculine edge. And studies do show that women who have masculine edges are better leaders, not because of the masculinity, but because by you embracing the masculine, you automatically integrate the feminine. For men, it's a little bit harder for that integration to happen because the masculine is too reserved, it's too stuck in its own way. That's why conserving is usually men, right? And liberals are usually women. That's just how that works, at least in our society. So it makes it easier for you to integrate if you're a woman. So that's the benefit of being a woman, is that you're more flexible with the type of stuff. It's not uncomfortable. So, and the beauty about this is that this will also increase your attraction towards other men. In other words, you'll be more attractive to a more diverse set of men because of your masculine. Strong men want a genuinely healthy, strong men want a woman with a little bit of masculinity, at least enough for it to be obvious when you look at them. Right? And even if they want to hurt you or submit you as a woman with a male streak, men will sense your freedom, right? So a lot of them will react to your masculinity with wanting to conquer it, right? With wanting it to submit. And that masculinity comes in the air of independence. The feminine has an air of interdependence, and that's what makes it beautiful. The masculine has an air of the independence, and that's what makes it strong and so good at getting resources. The problem is that because of that, it makes it hard to keep what you have with the masculine. You need the feminine to nurture it, right? So men will sense that freedom, and it'll cause them to chase. It's similar to Erykah Badu, where because of her freedom, because of her sense of freedom that she has for herself, men can sense it, and it poses as a challenge to tame that. Just like a strong masculine man, a lot of women see that as a challenge to tame him, right? So the feminine, you look too easy. The masculine, you look like a game that's really hard, not a game, but also a game literally, but also an animal that's big and strong and hard to submit. But if you submit it, you have resources for your family. Men are often seduced by the masculine element in a woman's behavior and character. So these things that I'm going to teach you will create that. It'll give you that trait that invokes the inner predator in a man in a positive way. It makes him want to conquer you, as opposed to a man seeing you and he knows he already conquered you. It's not the same, right? So if a woman disregards her masculine edge, then she will become possessed by the animus, her inner man, right? So if you disregard to develop this trait, you're gonna be possessed by it, but through your shadow. It'll run its course through your veins without you knowing it. And how do you know that? Well, it'll change the way it manifests itself. Unrepressed things are usually come out in its dark opposites, right? If you release it, it'll come out in a positive way. But if you repress it, it'll come out in a negative way. Eventually, it's gonna come out, right? The problem is that by you repressing it, it'll start sabotaging your life without you knowing it, without knowing the source of that pain. So it'll come out through assertiveness, will become aggression. Your assertiveness, which should be assertive, will become aggression. And that's why you have a lot of women, like remember the movie Precious, right? Where the mom was really angry to Precious. She had a very strong masculine edge. Well, that's her being possessed by her dark masculine energy, right? And that also happens with, rather than be assertive, you become ruthless or aggressive, right? Analytical will become argumentative. So if you're naturally analytical, you become a super argumentative person, right? In other words, the masculine energy is an aggressive force. An aggressive force that can be used to improve your life. If you redirect it properly, it could be used to protect your family, like the grandpa who everyone leans on in a family that's chaotic, or like the leader that people follow in the midst of chaos. Or that aggressive energy can become brutal and hard and destructive, where rather than help people or support people through your strength, you destroy through your strength. You attack people, you alienate people. You see aggression where it's not there. You turn passive aggressive, and you lose the ability to wield that force, and that force starts to wield you. And that's where you have a lot of these men who are insecure, who are super aggressive, because they really haven't gotten in touch with their real masculine. They think masculine is an aggressive force, when in reality is a powerful force to help others, to lift others, to lift yourself up and to lift other people, to give other people opportunity, to make others believe in themselves, right? It should have a positive effect. So, how do you integrate the masculine, right? Because I want you guys to integrate it. And I'm gonna show you different ways to integrate the masculine in your life. And these are things that you could look into this week and to explore and to just pay attention. You don't have to look too deeply. You could just look around in your life through observations, through what you naturally gravitate to in men and what you gravitate to in women, and pay more attention to what fascinates you in men, and find ways to integrate.
Last but not least, let him find comfort in you. Ladies, a lot of dating coaches, and again, I think I was wrong in this. A lot of dating coaches are teaching women to create, I used to teach it, to create pain, to create fear, to use that almost like as your main strategy for attracting him. And the problem with that is that it could work sometimes, right? Creating anxiety, creating jealousy, right? Pulling away, those things do get reactions. But you gotta understand that only works on guys that they need drama. It's like that only works on guys that cannot connect with you emotionally. Because there's another strategy of how to build the same connection and actually get the same, not even the same, but better results. And that's literally being a comforting figure. Now, we're not asking you guys to be a doormat. No doormats. What I'm asking you guys is to be a comforting figure, meaning most men secretly are suffering on the inside. Most men secretly feel low self-esteem. Most men secretly are unhappy. You just don't see it. They're lonely. And most guys just wanna regress. Regress to what? To a childlike state of mind. Like when you're with mom and you're sad and mom comforts you. That is extremely addictive, people. That shit is extremely addictive. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, he has to have the willingness to be comforted. So that means he has to be the type of person to allow you, to give you the chance to at least be with you physically close and you caress him. Some guys don't like physical closeness. Some guys don't like caresses. Some guys don't like don't like cuddling. They don't like spending physical time with each other. He has to be willing to at least allow you to do this, okay? That's the first thing. Some guys just won't let you do that. And when you're able to be with him, cuddling in bed or watching TV, you want him to slow down his heart rate. So how do you do that? Hypnotically, through touches. How do you make a baby go to sleep? Go to sleep, little baby. And then you touch a little baby like that. Go to sleep. You know those soft touches that people give you like that? Not a touch, but like a soft touch. It puts you to sleep. You want him to fall asleep on your chest. You want him to fall asleep on your arms. That will bring him back to you a lot more than drama. You want him slow his heart rate down, not give him an overdose. You want him to be relaxed. You want his mind to wander. You want him to feel your warmth, your physical warmth. You want him to smell the perfume that you're wearing. You want him to feel like a creepy little kid is with their parents. And let me tell you something. He will, like if it happens often enough, right? If this happens often enough, sometimes they fall in love. Because when a guy feels physically relaxed around you through your touches, a lot of the times it almost becomes a truth serum. They start to tell you things about themselves. They talk more, they open more. And that openness creates, and the relaxing, the touching creates oxytocin, meaning you releases those bonding hormones. The bonding hormones that creepy little kids feel with their moms. He's gonna feel that with you, right? Now listen, Stacy. The key is to do it. Now, I'll give you some hints how to do this. This is what I like to be done. Sometimes, and I say this because, my God, like I give her credit because she taught me a lot. It's how to caress. It's really, I'm not kidding with you. I'm gonna give you my secret. When you're with a guy and you just have his hands, just go like that. Squeeze, just slow squeezes. Relax him. Just go each hand, go like that. Like that. Just soft touches. They're really soft. Listen, I know this. Listen, man. I swear to God, just go like that. Even sometimes you even squeeze it a little bit. Just what you want him to feel those soft touches, and you could even it even goes with the hands. Just go like that. So just squeezes. I'm telling you, they're gonna love you for this. I swear to God, this releases so much oxytocin because you're just connecting. Right? You could be like that. It could be you rub his neck. And I want soft, right? Not fucking massage. Rub his back with the softness. If you're able to almost make him fall asleep, you did well. Do this often enough. Let him relax around you. Let him fall asleep on your arms. Oh my God. Yeah. This works, man. I'm telling you, man. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm telling you, the last one is really crazy. The last one really works. So use this with caution. Do not use this on guys that you're not interested on. And if you guys want one-on-one coaching, because sometimes it's easier to apply the strategies if you just talk to me. Because sometimes you think you're applying my strategies, telling people you watch my channel, and then you're embarrassing me and all of the Alexians on my channel, right? So just book a call. I'll teach you guys how to do it. People get results. They either get the guy they want or he walks away. At the end of the day, you have clarity of mind. And if you don't like the advice that I give refunds, all right? So go check it out. Pre-order right now. You can pre-order my course. It's like the commitment formula. And I'll see you guys inside. Take care. For women who are tired of situationships, if you keep meeting the wrong guys that always ghost or they're not ready to commit, or if you give too much too soon, or if you're exhausted from heartbreaks, or if you feel lonely because you keep holding your standards, sometimes you got to do it the right way, and most likely you're doing the wrong thing, okay? And this course is all about not having any gimmicks. This course will naturally attract guys that want to commit. And if you guys don't believe me, check out the testimonies on this. Every one of my course has always led to satisfaction. Most people don't ask for refunds because of just how great the courses are. And with this course comes a few things. One, you'll learn why men are drawn to strengths, right? And why weakness repels them, and how to radiate the proper strength that gets a guy to take you seriously, right? You'll be able to, above all, to show confidence without trying. A lot of the times it's very difficult to show a guy that you're willing to walk away when you're not willing to walk away, right? And I'll show you all of the red flags, the wrong guys that always comes to you whenever you feel weak, how to identify the guys that want to take advantage of you. And above all, it will teach you guys just how to attract commitment. I guarantee that if you do what this course says, you will find someone who likes you for you, okay? And if you don't like it, you'll get your money back. So click on the description down below, right? Pre-order it right now and you'll get it straight to your inbox. It should be out by the end of January next year. Okay, so 2026, it should be out by that year. Okay. Anyways, I'll see you guys inside. Take care.